People think by default Ronin is going to explode because of its usage or because they believe the 2021 Axie explosion is going to happen again. But times have changed and there are a lot of more factors to consider when taking a stab at a price prediction. I'm going to show you data no one is talking about, and based off of that, I'm going to tell you what I think Ronin's price will be. So far we've covered the team, we've covered the games, we've covered the ecosystem. So if you've missed any of these, please make sure to check them out and also make sure to subscribe to our channel to not miss any videos moving forward. But it wouldn't be a Ronin series without looking into the numbers of Ronin. How actively is the blockchain really? What story does the data tell us? And what does it mean for Ronin's price? That and more in this video. My name is Gab and welcome to On-Chain Journey.
What's wrong?
A big part of evaluating a project should be looking at data. And no, I'm not talking about its previous all-time highs, its market cap, and fully diluted valuation, aka FDV. I'm talking about revenue, active addresses, transactions, volume, TVL, etc. On-chain data. Then we want to also take a look at the tokenomics and how this is potentially impacting the price action currently. This is oftentimes something people overlook and we want to offer our perspective on this. Where do we start? Let's start off with where you can find the data. Generally, you can find a tremendous amount of data when it comes to Ronin. The Ronin ecosystem is constantly expanding, especially in regards to data. Just check out the ecosystem chart and you will know where you can find it. Token Terminal, Nansen, Footprint Analytics, all great platforms where you can find different crucial data points. Now, let's take a look at daily active addresses. And for that, we're going to go first of all to Token Terminal. We're currently looking at around 1.9 million daily active addresses. That makes Ronin the second most used blockchain, just slightly behind Tron and in front of Solana and BNB. With that said, on the 1st of August, daily active addresses peaked with 2.3 million active addresses, overtaking Tron for that day. As of now, it looks just like a matter of time that Ron overtakes Tron for good. Ronin's daily active addresses increased by 200% in just a matter of 43 days. And if you go back from December 23, it even increased by 6.8x. This can be accounted to a few things. 1. Pixel's strong growth since Chapter 2 was launched. 2. Increased transactions with Moki Mint and trades on Mavis Market. And 3. The growth of Axie Infinity, Apeiron, and Wildforest. If we break it down into daily active users per gaming chain, Ronin has around 27% of the total daily active users. That makes Ronin the leader of the gaming chains. Just as a comparison to the probably largest gaming project by market cap currently, Immutable X, you can barely see them. On the 6th of August, they show up with a whopping 0.78% of daily active users versus the 32% of Ronin. Now, if we look at the games directly, of those 1.9 million daily active addresses, most of it is accounted to 3 games. Pixels with 745,000 active addresses, and that also means Pixel is the gaming leader currently. Apeiron with around 120,000 addresses, ranking itself on number 7 of the gaming charts by the time of this recording. And Axie Infinity, the legend, the OG, with 61,000 addresses. There's one thing I want to highlight though. Lumiterra just went live with their closed beta test and registered a whopping 499,000 active wallets. If that continues, Ronin is going to explode in activity in no time. Another point I will mention is the amount of games on the chain. Not everyone can build on Ronin just yet. With the ZK EVM announcement and the collaboration of Ronin with Polygon, it will unlock unseen growth for Ronin. Because then game developers can utilize and build on top of Ronin without needing to go through any gatekeepers who need to approve the game for Ronin first. But as of now, there are only 19 games on Ronin. Just an example, the 4th most used blockchain, BNB, has 1,100 games. So imagine how numbers could look like when Ronin gets unleashed to the world. Next, let's talk about TVL, total value locked. As of the time of the recording, we have around 206 million RON staked, which is around 292 million in TVL, given Ronin's current price of $1.42 after the big crash this week. Now, this is not too bad. Usually I go and check TVL data on DeFi Llama. The reason I'm not going to do this here is that Ronin data is not complete on DeFi Llama and only accounts for the Katana DEX and Metaland basically. If we take the 292 million TVL, it would place it in the top 25 just above Thorchain, which is not too bad really. Another important aspect in terms of data for a blockchain like Ronin especially is its NFT volume. Mavis market volume increased tenfold. Kaidro's NFTs accumulated over 1.3 million in RON volume. Ragnarok Monster World's mint brought in over 800,000 in primary sales, and Apeiron's 4 collections amassed over 1 million in RON volume. Overall, Ronin ranks 4th in terms of all-time NFT trading volume and just slightly behind Bitcoin. That's pretty impressive for a chain that only has 19 games currently. With that said, NFT sales volume has seen quite a decline on the 30-day scale, but for most of other blockchains, it does look very similar, and it can probably be accounted to the general fear in the market over the past weeks and the general drop of NFT sales. Generally, Ronin does a great job hyping the community for games and NFT mints, just like with the very popular Moku mint just a few weeks back. Gab, you talked about revenue. How is that looking for Ronin? Well, you're right. I did mention that. And looking at revenue is an important indicator to see how a company is doing. When you research stocks you want to invest into, one of the most important things to look at are their financial statements, earnings, etc. But that is something we cannot really find, unfortunately, in this case. Overall, it's not a given for the crypto space to have financial statements and revenue laid out. So let's speak more generally about revenue and how Ronin generates revenue. Ronin generates income through transaction fees, validator rewards, in-game transactions, bridging fees, partnerships, and NFT marketplace fees. Not all of that is available to the public eye. What we do know is that according to Token Terminal, Ronin makes around 207K revenue through fees per month, which annualizes to 2.5 million USD. That's actually not that much from my perspective. On the other hand, Sky Mavis is sitting in Vietnam where operational costs are very low. So considering we only know about the fees and there are probably other income streams we don't know about, that's actually quite decent. That brings us to tokenomics. Over the past months, one big question I always had in mind was, what is holding Ronin's price down? Spoiler alert, I don't have a clear answer to this, but I do have some assumptions. Honestly, I think tokenomics is super important for any investor to know and understand. More specifically, we want to take a look at the token supply, how the tokens distribution looks like, and when tokens are distributed, because this is what impacts the price potentially. I'm going to compare Ronin here with 3 other top gaming ecosystems, IMX, Beam, GALA, to showcase you their different tokenomics. Ronin's current circulating supply is 34%, with significant token unlocks coming up. This can create sell pressure affecting the price. Comparing Ronin with IMX, Beam, and GALA, we see that while Ronin has the lowest market cap, it has the second highest fully diluted valuation, FDV, at 1.4 billion. So in reality, while Ronin is worth 500 million now, it is actually already worth 1.4 billion if all tokens would be circulating. Now, keep in mind that those numbers are changing depending on when you're watching this video, but you get the point. But how does that happen and what does that mean? Let's clarify some terms first. You have 100% of the supply. That can be either the max supply that the project determined from the beginning, or the current total supply if there is no predetermined max supply. This is important to calculate the fully diluted valuation, FDV, as mentioned, which describes how much a project is worth when all tokens are circulating in the market. Every project has different token unlock schedules. Token unlocks refer to the scheduled release of previously locked or reserved cryptocurrency tokens into the market. And this is typically part of a project's initial funding or incentive strategy. You don't want to issue everything at once. Most of the time, you want the team or the investors to be motivated in the long run. Therefore, tokens are released and earned little by little over time. This is also called vesting. Usually, the tokens that are released go out into the open market and increase the circulating supply. The circulating supply is what determines the current market cap. Now let's take a look at the 4 ecosystems again. IMX, Beam, and GALA have seen the majority of token unlocks already, leading to a higher circulating supply than Ronin. Therefore, while Ronin is by market cap the project with the lowest valuation, it actually has the second highest FDV with 1.5 billion. So when you look at Ronin's potential, don't be blinded by the lower market cap, since there are still a bunch of tokens coming your way, causing inflation and adding sell pressure potentially. But not always are tokens released into the open market and increase circulating supply. Sometimes unlocked tokens are kept for different purposes later on, just like in the case of Ronin. Ronin actually has 55% already unlocked, but only 34% of its supply is in circulation. What's the difference between unlocked supply and circulating supply? Well, unlocked supply is all the coins that exist and can be used. Think of it like all the toys in a toy store, including the ones in the storage of the warehouse. And circulating supply is like the toys actually out in the shelves for you to buy, not the ones in the back storage. So unlocked supply is everything that's out there, and circulating supply is what you can actually get your hands on right now. As an investor, the circulating supply is something you want to care about. GALA, for example, suffered for a very long time from their tokenomics, and even outside of gaming, there are huge discussions about the negative impact of investors and their unlock schedules with projects like Avalanche, Darknet, or Lido. For example, let's take a look at this tweet from ResDegen, who writes, 3 years ago, in July 2021, Lido's price was $1.85 and had a market cap of $40 million. Today, Lido's price is $1.85 and has a market cap of $1.7 billion. How? Magic fundamentals. Just looking at the unlock schedule of Ronin, the current rate of unlocks will go at least till mid-2026. Then it slightly slows down till mid-2028 before I would say you can stop worrying about the token unlocks. Again, these are unlocks. How many of those tokens will end up in the circulating supply? We don't know exactly. Currently, the difference is around 20%. Now, the good thing is that Ronin does not have any investors to worry about according to their unlock schedule. In fact, 70% goes right back into the ecosystem and community, which is absolutely fantastic, if you ask me. But still, the team allocation of 30% is pretty huge. So it could be that the team is selling their tokens as they unlock over time, and that can have an impact on the price. We don't know for sure. I'm just saying that it is a possibility. One other thing that I have in the back of my head when I look at the token unlock schedule is the funding round that happened after the bridge hack. What are these investors getting in return? If not with tokens that are unlocked, what else is there? No one gives away $150 million just like that. So I'm just wondering how that might have an impact on Ronin and what is something that we might not be seeing. Now, if we take everything that we called out here and crunch some numbers, where could Ronin's price go over the next year? First, we know Ronin has the strongest case in terms of on-chain data. They have the usage, they have the activity, they have the NFT volume, and this is probably just going to grow stronger from here. Essentially, that also means that Ronin will have a lot of eyes looking at it in a full-fledged bull market where people want to invest into gaming projects. Ronin will be one of the first projects people will look at. And that's important because I feel this bull market is going to be different than the last ones. The amount of crypto tokens that nowadays are out there is 5.7x more compared to the peak bull run in 2021. That means more tokens are fighting for your attention and for your money. And I think small projects and micro cap, sub 100 million market cap will have a harder time to get to those 20 to 50x's compared to the last bull run. At least it will be a much higher risk than in the past. So I think it's best to focus on the ones where you know they will definitely be getting attention. Second, we know that there is still a significant amount of unlocks coming our way, so we want to try and do our best to take that into account when we crunch some numbers. Folks, and take this with a grain of salt, there are many factors that play a role and no one can really predict the price. You can only set yourself targets with that you are going to be happy, and in the end, what makes sense to yourself based on your research and your experience. So my assumption is that in the next year's time, we will be in a fully fledged bull market where everything goes bonkers.
I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time.
Looking at the vesting schedule, we should have around 688 million tokens unlocked in a year from now. Assuming that we keep the ratio between unlocked and circulating supply with the same around 20% difference, then we would have around 550 million tokens in circulating supply. Now let's assume Ronin can hit a 10 billion market cap, and I don't think that's too crazy. Some people might even think that's too conservative, but hey, I think this will be a way different cycle and we won't see the absurdity of the past again. If it hits 10 billion in a year from now, given the vesting schedule, we should be looking at around an $18 price tag for Ronin. That's around a 12 to 13x in terms of price from where we are now. If you want to be more conservative, you can halve the market cap to 5 billion and you have a $9 price tag. If you think for whatever reason it will go apeshit, then you can double the market cap and you get a $36 price tag. That's incredibly good for such a high quality project that is sitting around $1.50 at the time of the recording. So if you're fast, I would seriously recommend you take a deep look at Ronin. And by the way, this is all not financial advice. All I'm doing here is laying out all the data and giving you my opinions of what I see. I will add all the links down below so that you can do your own research and build your own picture. So to conclude things, I think Ronin is a very strong project with a bright future. Everything they're doing is tilted towards becoming the gaming chain leader. They think long-term, and that's also represented in their vesting schedule, which I personally think could still potentially hold back Ronin's price in the short to midterm. Therefore, I think Ronin is a fantastic investment for the long run. Will we see a 20 to 50x over the next 1.5 years? Well, I don't think so. If you're looking for those kind of returns, those high returns, you will have to look at smaller projects or find future narratives early. But if you're looking for a fantastic pick in the gaming narrative, Ronin is a great place for you to start, and the 12 to 13x from the 150 where it stands right now is pretty amazing, especially for a blockchain with around 2 million daily active users. And that's it, folks. Where do you think Ronin's price will be? Let us know in the comments down below, and if you've learned one thing or two from this video, do us a favor and give us a like, and make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to see when we break down other projects for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.